Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video we are going to be talking about the 3 point perspective. And in our previous videos we have established the point. The point we are talking about when we say point is the vanishing point. Vanishing points. And when we say 1 point perspective, just has one vanishing point. 2 points has two. 3 points has three, and that's it. So we have looked at quick recap. We have looked at one vanishing point. Remember what I always say, you're playing, and I don't use those lines you commonly see on books and most instructor use. I want you to free your mind from those things. Sometimes those things actually limit artists because they think they are bound by those rules, but I like to free myself from those things. The concept remain the same, the idea remain the same, but you learn to freely do it and create those things with the ideas and in mind. So 1 point perspective, one receding point can be here, it can be here, it can be anywhere in the painting. It stays on the horizon line. You can push the horizon line up or down, still works. You can get the warm eye view or the bird eye view. So this is the first one we talked about, 1 point perspective. Let's say our horizon line is in this place. You have our, those lines I talked about on the character, but that is 1 point perspective. Then we talked about 2 point perspective. I would say the 2 point perspective still rests on the horizon line and has 2 points, two vanishing points. We gave our example in the last video. Let's just do something quick. So this is still a plane, spherical plane, and then we have our box object on the 2 point perspective. So this is it, 2 point perspective. Now we are looking at 3 point perspective, and as we said earlier, the points are vanishing points. So we have three vanishing points to look after. So this is let me quickly first show us the two. We are looking at this two over here. I'm using Infinite Painter, and it shows us what the vanishing points, 3 point perspective looks like. These are vanishing points, 1, 2, and this is the third one, 3. And we use this in different cases. The whole idea of the vanishing points has to help a lot with angles and edges, things with angles and edges. When we draw tall objects from nearby, 3 point perspective helps with camera tilt, and I like to use it to play with my image when I'm creating images. And don't forget, I don't use these lines. I'm only using it now because we are talking about it. I'm trying to break it down so you understand before you can have the AdSense, let's say AdSense, to break these things down. You need to actually know why they exist, and know how to use them before you can manipulate them, tweak them for your own understanding. You can use the 3-point perspective for composition, to play with the composition and aesthetic of our images. So 3-point perspective, you have 3 vanishing points, as I showed earlier. Then you have your form. Now I'm not following everything you are seeing, and I'm not following the line detailedly. I'm just trying to show you a 3-point perspective, and this is it. This is the 3-point perspective. Using just the perspective line, most people forget what they are doing, so I love to put in the plane, horizontal line, and plane. But let's say that is the plane. So like I said, when the horizontal line is very high or very low, it helps in that kind of stuff. So that is what we are looking at here. It's like you are on top of a ladder and you are looking down on an object. Now this is like bird eye view. You can get it in different form. The same it's the same word. Change of using 3-point perspective does not change the word. It's the same word, but 3-point perspective give us more room. It's just like an example I'll give you is pixels. The more pixels you have, the more sharp your image becomes. More pixels, the quality of the image gets sharp. But less pixels, you still get the image, but it loses some of its juice. The same thing happens with perspective. More perspectives, more points, more vanishing points helps in creating a more realistic image. But I like to always tweak it to fit my art and the story I'm trying to tell. So I hope you understand that. So 1-point perspective, you are facing forward. 2-point perspective, you are looking at an angle. 3-point perspective is like you're on top of a ladder looking at an angle of the object. So the same thing we talked about the other time still applies when you have horizon line that is lower. Then you have the warm eye. Yes, in this you can see in a 3-point perspective sorry, in a 3-point perspective, you can still get warm eye. It's the same word as we said earlier. Let's say you are close to a building. This is a 3-point perspective, and it's the warm eye. 2-point B here. These are 2 points, then the third point is up there. So it's something that is easy to do. 3-point perspective. I think I did a 3-point perspective the last example, and no, I think I did it too. So it's the same thing, 3-point perspective. So take note of that. It helps a lot. This is warm eye. Warm eye is just trying to say it's from the ground. Warm crawl, slide on their belly and stuff. Then we have the bird eye. Okay, I've done the bird eye already. So the perspective still stand. And if you have looked at wonderful references, you can check Pinterest, you can check Google, you see references of the 3-point perspective that look really unique and dynamic. So learn to play with it most of these things, when I create images, I don't use those lines. I'll repeat myself, I don't use those lines. I prefer to use my eye hand coordination. But if it's something I want that should be very realistic, that is when I start committing to those lines, especially when I'm working on commission. But I hardly do commissions these days. I focus more on my own stuff. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you learned something from it. You don't need to cram anything. You don't need to burden yourself. It's not that hard. Just understand the principle, understand what they mean, and then apply it in your drawing. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something, and I will see you guys in the next one. So thank you.